What is up, and happy Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. It is exciting. I have missed y'all. We have been away with family, friends, and had quite a bit going on with clients. So it's been a very active time, and I'm excited today. We're going to do something very cool. I'm can't wait to share with y'all. So for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Juan Alcala. I'm a licensed real estate agent here in the Tampa Bay area, and I help people just like you buy, sell, relocate, and invest here in the Tampa Bay area. But that's not what today is about. Today is about all things Tampa. So we're going to get into this. And I have some very special guests today that I'm excited to bring on the channel. You may or may not know them. You may or may not have been introduced to them already, but you will be introduced them to tonight. And I really look forward to their contribution moving forward. So without further ado, I want to bring in our special guest one at a time because we have more than one. That's right. We have more than one. So I know you're on the edge of your seat. You can't wait. Anticipation is running rampant. You're wondering who it is in your mind. No, it's not Mickey Mouse. This is not Orlando, and I am not a park person. So if you're looking for that, you are on the wrong channel. And I'm not judging you. If you are a park person, you know, hey, that's your thing. That's okay. But, you know, that's not my lane. So I'm going to stay in my lane, but I am excited to introduce my guests. So I want to bring them on one at a time, and I really want to get into this right away. So let's kick it off because we've got some exciting stuff for tonight. So I do want to set this up really quick. We are going to really dig deep into some local segments here. I want to talk about, as you guys know, if you've done any of the live streams with us before, you know that I love to talk, you know, news, what's happening in the Tampa Bay area. You know, how is it going to affect you? How is it going to, you know, impact either your decision to move here, or if you're a Tampa resident or a Tampa Bay resident, you know, what does this mean for you? And we really want to share those things with you. So I'm really happy and excited to share with you our guest. They are going to become regular contributors to this channel. I'll explain why here in a second. Without any further ado, for the second time, Miss Marsha Railton. So big round of applause.
Thank you so much.
Do I have an applause button? I think we have an applause.
I'm excited to be here. Been happy to work with Juan and now Stacy, and now we get to share information on our areas specifically with you. So we're excited about it. I hope you enjoy it and hope we're a fountain of knowledge for you in your search for coming to the area, or even if you're here, maybe we'll be able to help you find out what's available to do and what's going on in the community. So we're here for you.
Yeah, it's exciting. So we added Marsha to the team about 5-6 months ago now, actually. And she's been an absolute blessing. But because so many of you reach out to us about relocating the area, I was in the weeds. And I literally mean I was in the weeds. I mean, I could not keep my head above water. So I needed to bring on help. And Marsha's just been an absolute blessing. We'll get into more of that stuff as it goes along. I'm excited to share her with you. But again, because of your generosity and because of your trust in me, Marsha wasn't enough on her own. So Marsha's been great, and she has absolutely killed it for some of our clients, and I'm sure that they're going to chime in on this as well. But because of that, we had to add another amazing, incredible human being, and I want to introduce her to you as well right now. And I'm going to introduce Mrs. Stacy. Good evening, Stacy.
Hello, everyone. So happy to be here.
We are happy to have you. So I'm just really, really excited. This is going to be, again, we're going to learn a little bit here tonight. So give us a little bit of grace, y'all. As you know, I love to deliver value. And, you know, the videos, if you haven't noticed, we've been putting a lot of effort in there and trying to make those more value packs. So you guys are really getting more bang for your attention, if so to speak. And we really want to continue to do that. And I want you to have a really good understanding of what it's like to live here, or if you're a resident here, we really want you to be in the know. So, you know, our plan on these Tampa Talk Tuesdays is to really kind of drill deep on what's happening in the Tampa Bay and Sarasota areas, because again, getting more and more people reaching out about the southern area too, which is not far, y'all. So just, we're going to give you some perspective. I'll show you a map today and kind of talk about what these things mean. But we really just wanted to take time to introduce and give both of these ladies the credit they are due. Stacy walked in the door and our whole house was on fire. And what I mean by that, what I mean by that was, like, honestly, she walked in the door and she helped 5 families the first 5 weeks she was on the team.
Yeah, they got
like,
me busy.
It's been a whirlwind. And again, so grateful to be able to add people that really have, bought into the vision of what it means to, just be all things lifestyle when it comes to Tampa Bay. And that's what this channel is about. And I know we're a little bit long on the intro here, but I really want to make sure that you understand when you tune in here, what you can expect from me, and most importantly, from us. So whether it's myself, whether it's Marcia, whether it's Stacy, or whoever else is going to be in the future, because to be quite honest, we're probably going to have to add more people. Whoever it is, but they're delivering value. And the thing that I want to share with you is I have personally chosen these ladies. I interviewed them. I brought them on the team. They are an extension of me. So when you reach out to me and I can't get back to you right away because we're talking to clients or people who are, considering moving in the area, and you hear from Stacy or Marcia, just understand they are as capable or more capable in certain circumstances of handling and really helping you win as much as I am. So I really want to make sure that you guys know that you have a team to support you, because as much as I love being able to work with each and every one of you who called out directly, it's just not possible. There was a point when we had 13 people on our travel schedule. And while I love the fact that you guys fly down and try to figure out where you want to live, there's no one person is capable of handling that, especially when it goes like this. This is the typical scenario. Hey, Juan, we're coming to town on X date. Okay, awesome. Let me put you in the calendar. Hey, Juan, we're coming to town on X date. Okay, awesome. Let me put you in the calendar. So, and we don't want you to ever have to wonder whether we have time for you. So, the goal of this team is to service, our clients, is to make sure that you are treated, just absolutely like we treat any family member that we love. Got to make sure I make that note. Any family member that we love, and just like you're one of us. So, we treat your family or yourself with as much dignity and respect. And we're doing the homework, and we're making sure that you have access to all of that information as well. So thank you for indulging the very long intro, but I just wanted to make sure you understand, who these ladies are, the value that they actually provide, and, the intent of these live streams. And, we're really excited to be able to dig a little bit deeper and share with you guys, again, the beautiful, sometimes not so beautiful parts of the Tampa Bay area, some of the things we're struggling with locally. And we're going to get into some pretty cool stuff today. Stacy and I were out filming Wesley Chapel all day. I feel like I could live out there for 16 months and never get everything documented with the growth that is occurring out there. And that's the Tampa Bay area, to be honest with you, as a whole. But we're going to get into a lot of this stuff today. I'm excited to kind of break it open with the ladies and share. Let us know where you're watching from, y'all. It's one of my favorite things to do is see, when you guys check in and let us know where you're watching from. So please do that. I want to say hello to everyone who's kind of already jumped out. We got Pest Tech. I'm not sure who that is. I'd love to know your name. So thanks for watching. We appreciate it. We got Ronnie. Ronnie, what's up, my man? I know you said you just moved over by my church, which is really cool. Ronnie and I have yet to connect, and I feel like he's been watching our live stream since basically they've started over a year ago. So thanks for watching, Ronnie. Greatly appreciated, my friend. We got Jessica says she's moving to the area next month. Thanks for all your helpful videos. Jessica, you are more than welcome. And we're excited to have you as a fellow Floridian. So that's awesome. Kevin says he's watching from Lakeland. Shout out to Lakeland, Florida. And y'all, Lakeland is not Tampa, just so everybody knows. We'll get into that today too, some geography stuff, but it is close enough, right? It is a good spot landing. I usually get gas in Lakeland if we ever have to go to Orlando. It's kind of like a good place to just stop in between, get some water, get a snack, do the thing, right? And then we've got Derek, who's local, watching from Tampa. What's up, Derek? Love it, man. You're watching from Tampa, the city? Where at? Tell me where you're watching from. West Chase, New Tampa, downtown. Just let me know. I'd love to know in the chats. But awesome. So let's get into a little bit of this tonight, ladies. So there's a lot going on. There is a ton going on in all of our communities that we support. And I think we should talk just a little bit about, who's doing what, where. We've got Marcia, who lives in Bradenton, which is just over the Skyway Bridge, just south of St. Petersburg, Florida. Okay, just so you guys know. And I'll pull up a map here in a second and show you, because I think it is important for everybody to kind of get frame of reference, right? Frame of reference is super helpful. Context, we call it all the time. We're always talking about how to add content to the channel. Context, sorry. Derek's in Wesley Chapel. What's up, Derek? Nice. You are in Stacy's stomping grounds. So I love that. So I want to share with y'all map real quick, and we'll talk about this. All right. So if we look at the greater Tampa Bay area as a whole, you know, we're going to break this down because it seems to be expanding rapidly. Would you agree, ladies? It's expanding very rapidly. And, you know, I know we're all in the shot here, so I just want to make sure we give enough space here on this map to make sure that we're working through it pretty good. But we've got the greater Tampa Bay area, and I'm going to draw over this thing. If you've never seen this before, don't worry about it. I'll erase it, clean it up. If you want to know more, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We can get in depth with this too. But the greater Tampa Bay area essentially is this area here, this spot. Now, I'm saying this, and it's expanding pretty rapidly, pretty quickly. And I want to get into more of this in a second. But to the north here, you've got Pasco County. And I'm not going to try to draw the perfect line here, but up north, you've got Pasco County. And then you've got to south of Lutz and Odessa, Tarpon Springs. Right from here down, this is all Hillsborough County. This is where Tampa is. Okay, and I know I'm making a mess. And then out on this little peninsula here, this is Pinellas County. This is where the Gulf beaches are. So that's where Clearwater Beach is. You can see it here. You got St. Pete Beach to the south, Treasure Island, Indian Rocks, Indian Shores, St. Pete, St. Petersburg. And there's a difference. St. Petersburg and St. Pete Beach are two different places, just for those of you who don't know. And then you've got Tampa. Downtown Tampa is actually a lot smaller than you think. It's a very big little city is the best way I would describe that. And then to the north, you got Pasco County. Okay, so I broke all that down and made a huge mess. I'm going to clean this up. Okay, so why I chose these incredible individuals, these amazing ladies to join our team was partially strategically as well. Stacy lives up to the north in Dade City, and she also lived in Wesley Chapel for how long, Stacy?
9 years.
For 9 years, she was a Wesley Chapel resident. She has moved since, and correct me if I'm wrong, I did hear something regarding perhaps buyer's remorse.
Yes, I may be moving back to Wesley Chapel if I can talk my husband into it.
Yeah. So but the point of that is not to put salt on the wound. It's to share with y'all, like, she's equipped. Okay. So she knows Wesley Chapel like the back of her hand, trust me. And she knows Pasco County like the back of her hand. And she's been working some of the northern part of Pinellas County for me as well. Okay. So from a geographic perspective, Stacy's covering a lot of this territory. Okay, so just so y'all know how it works out for us and in how you might see things. I live in Pinellas County, as you guys know, if you've been following the channel for any time at all. I'm in Largo, but just over the Indian Rocks Beach Bridge. I'm less than 2 miles from the water here. So Pinellas Park is, Pinellas County is my backyard. That's where I live. It's 40 minutes to Tampa for me. Actually, I made it to the airport when we went to Puerto Rico 2 weeks ago in 28 minutes flat, which is unbelievable. And I was not speeding. We just hit every single light perfectly. It was amazing. It was amazing. So that was awesome. Now, to the south, where we were talking about in Bradenton, where Marcia lives, and let me drill down a little bit farther in this so y'all can see here, just to give relative perspective. Marcia lives in Bradenton, Florida. Actually, Marcia lives right off the Manatee River over in here. I'm not going to disclose her address for you stalkers out there. So no go. No fly zone on that one. Right. But she's a boater. She's all about that boat life. She's got a beautiful home right on the Manatee River, or in a community that's on the Manatee River, which gives her access to the river, which is great. So Marcia is extreme. And Marcia, how long have you been down in Bradenton?
9 years.
She's been in Bradenton for 9 years. So again, covering the south end of the Tampa Bay and in the Sarasota. Marcia sells real estate all the way down to Venice. Okay, so just want to share with you guys a little bit of perspective. Okay, why do I want to share that with you? Well, because I just want to help you understand how we've built the business, right? Put it all together so you can kind of wrap your mind around when somebody reaches out who they are to serve. Now, Marcia is selling houses up in Wesley Chapel too. We've got clients that she's out from Chicago. Like, again, we got so busy so fast. Marcia was out running around selling up. She is more than equipped, y'all, just like Stacy is. But what we're trying to do is make this a nice, easy home. So if you're looking in that Bradenton, Sarasota area, you know, from basically from like that Riverview, Brandon area south, I'm definitely going to connect you with Marcia on the team. You're going to still be connected to me. We're going to have conversations. I'm involved in everything real estate with our team. I don't get out of that stuff. And I want to share this with you guys. So you're just going to understand. But she is the go-to. Okay. She knows that area like the back of her hand. It's awesome. Okay. Trust me. She's given me great tours of downtown Bradenton. If you haven't seen our Bradenton video, go check it out. That was Marcia's debut. Parrish was actually. So you can go check out the Parrish video, which Parrish is bumping. We'll talk about that as well. And again, we got Stacy to the north. So we've kind of built this strategically. And I just wanted to share that with y'all because we have so many wonderful people reaching out to us. And I just want to give you a little bit of perspective on how the team operates. Okay. I know that may not be the hottest local information ever, but it's important to just kind of make sure that we recognize these ladies for the incredible value they bring to the team and then help you understand why we bring them on too. So, love that as well. So let's jump into some of these comments. Jeff McDonald says, you know me from Lubbock, Texas, in an apartment in Clearwater while I wait patiently for the right place. Jeff has been on the hunt for quite some time. Derek said he was in Wesley Chapel, Zephyr Hills. Awesome. Thanks, my man. We were out there all day today, which was great. And then we've got looks like emojis from Chicago, grabbing a U-Haul and headed to Tampa, St. Pete while waiting next week. Hoping job search, etc., praying and keeping it moving. Awesome, man. Thanks for sharing. Appreciate that as well. So ladies, let's get into some local talk. Okay. Let's talk about what's happening here. As you guys, if you've ever watched the live stream before, we'll talk a little bit about real estate values at the end. So don't hesitate. If you've got questions, please put them in the chat. We will absolutely try to get to all the questions that you have, and don't hesitate to put those in the comments either. Because I do answer comments personally still. We don't have any assistants. Nobody's doing that. Those are personally answered by me. So if you've got a question, do not hesitate to reach out there because it's a great place to do it. So we'll get into that. But what I do want to get into right away is what's happening in the area here. Because there are some good things happening in the area, and there are some challenges and we get asked about them a lot. So I want to get right into this stuff. Marcia, let's talk a little bit about what's happening down south in Lakewood Ranch, Bradenton area. And we'll get into that right away. So what topics did you bring to the table? Let's talk good stuff first before we get into some of the not so fun stuff.
Well, one of the funnest areas and the areas I like to be in is Lakewood Ranch. It's an award-winning area. It's a master plan community. It is the home of over 63,000 residents to date and growing constantly. They had a downtown, and they've now built a new downtown, which is called Waterside Place. It sits alongside I think it's called Kingfisher Lake. And it is gorgeous. We love to go down there. It's a downtown community that has shops and restaurants, tons of entertainment. Every weekend and Fridays and Saturdays, they have bands playing. Every Sunday, they have a farmer's market that has over 100 vendors there. It's a madhouse, but it's so much fun to go. They have, on Wednesdays, they have ranch night. And that night, they bring in food trucks, a band. They have some of the vendors that are there on Sundays. And a really cool thing they have is Cornhole League, and it's the second largest league in the United States. So it's really cool. You're walking around and there's music and all this food, and then you see hundreds of people playing cornhole on the street, and it's just like they're bowling or something right there in downtown. So it's super fun I would say for all ages, from little kids. You see a lot of little children there, all the way to the seniors that come and hang out. So the Lakewood Ranch, Waterside Place is the new happening area here. They currently have some great restaurants that we like to go to. One of them is called Good Brewing Company. It's a brew house and has delicious food and sits right on the lake there. So you can sit outside or inside. There's a really good Italian restaurant there. And then, like I said, they always have even when there's not a farmer's market, it seems like every time I've been there, there's outdoor vendors that are local artists that you can buy things from. So it's a really great place to go. Ultimately, they're going to have water taxis that will go from the communities. There's going to be over 5,000 homes right in this area on the lake that surrounds Waterside Place, and they're going to have water taxis that you can take over to the downtown area. So it is super cool. Like I said, it's a great place to go people watch or hang out, eat, shop. There's lots to do there.
There's a lot going on there. And I love that, right? So Lakewood Ranch, for those of you that don't know, we'll show the map here in a second, just give some context, because I think that is important, is the ranked the number one master plan community in the entire country. And it's been that way for quite a few years, right, Marcia? This isn't anything new. And it's a very special place. You have to go check it out. It's not for everybody. Right. I think that's a really good thing to share with everyone. It's also not the cheapest thing in the world. So just to give frame of reference, in terms of affordability, I think it's also important to know, people here, that it's the number one master plan community and they get excited and I love it. But, the median home price there is, we're talking into the 700,000s at this point. So it's, with all of those amenities comes, it's not the most affordable thing in the world, but I do wanted to share in terms of where it is from a geographic perspective, right? So you can see Lakewood Ranch right here on the map. It is located, this is about a 30 to 35 minutes to Lido Beach, right? Like in terms of drive time.
Traffic.
Yep. And, probably the same distance to Siesta Key, if we drop that in there as well. But you can see Lakewood Ranch right off the highway. It is to the east of the highway. Okay, so Waterside is a little bit closer there. So let me pull that up really quick just so people can get frame of reference.
Yeah, Waterside Place now. Lakewood Ranch is building south now. So Waterside Place is in the southern section of Lakewood Ranch. Yeah, it zoomed us in pretty heavy here, but you can see you got all the great golf courses up there. I mean, Lakewood Ranch it's really it was designed for all of the communities to kind of interconnect and intermingle. And I think that's the best way to put it. But Waterside is definitely its own unique thing because of the lakes down here. Right. And I really think it's great. On our Wesley Chapel video, on our last Lakewood Ranch video we did, you can see a shot of Water Place, but it was pretty early on in the development. It's definitely nowhere near as developed it is today, which it's been almost a year since we've been down there, but it's great. They've got condos and apartments down there right on the water. Correct, Marcia? Yeah. Yep. Right in downtown and on the water. Yeah, the volleyball court is really cool. There's a walking path all around this lake too. I love it. I thought it was really, really nice. And then the Lake House Cove, beautiful neighborhood over here, right, Marcia? Yes. 3 different builders there, but they're about done building in there. But they're going to start building across the road from where they're at now. So there'll be new neighborhoods coming up soon. Yep. Awesome. And that's, if you've never heard of Lakewood Ranch, you really got to check it out. I'm telling you right now, when we're done with this, we'll put all the links to the resources we talk about in the description below. Lakewood Ranch has a wonderful website that does not disappoint. It gives you all the details for everything you would ever want to know, for what's happening in the city. So I love that. All right. So that was the first topic of the night, Marcia. What else are we rolling with today? This is not the greatest news. It's how FEMA has started to calculate their policy rates. In 2021, they decided they need to make a change, and those changes in rates went into effect this April. So the old way that they used to calculate was just by the flood zone, but they determined that they needed to take the base rate or base value of homes and the unique flood situation for that home. So that even though that home is in a specific flood zone, it could be more apt to get flooded than others in the same zone. So they've put more thought into it. The good news is for some people, the rates actually go down. So if you're a lower end house rate, then your flood insurance is probably going to go down. If you're a higher end and you're anywhere near a flood zone, your rates are definitely going to go up. And I was really surprised because some of the places in Bradenton or Sarasota and Manatee County are going up to 233% over what they currently are. Wow. Now, the good news with that is that they only allow an increase of 18% per year on your primary home and 25% per year on a second home. So you're not going to get the total increase all at once. It'll take 10 to 15 years for them to get it up to the rate that they're thinking. But I was looking in Anna Marie and Longboat Key, their current rate for flood is approximately $2,300, and the increase is up to $7,000. So that's a significant change. Yep. In my zip code, it's going from 1,100 to 2,500. So another significant, but again, it's over time. And the reason for that is obviously all the hurricanes and flooding we've had in the country and how expensive that is. And FEMA decided that they needed to make a change on how they calculated that. Yep. And we were talking about Lakewood Ranch. So one good thing about Lakewood Ranch is their rates only are going up 15% total. So because they're further away from the water, the significance of the increase isn't nearly as scary.
Yeah, the article here, which I found, which it said FEMA released new flood insurance rates by zip code, brace for impact, and it definitely disproportionately affects South Florida, from what I saw so far, versus us here in the Tampa Bay and Sarasota areas. So something to keep in mind here. Now, right in here it says, for some parts of Florida, including the appropriate named Hell Gate on the East Coast, flood insurance will spike on average 342%, according to Miami Herald. So again, that's definitely more towards the south. Here's that $7,000 annual rate that Marcia was just alluding to. But like you said, Marcia, you're going from 1,100 to 2,500, and you actually live on the water, right? So you live on you're in a lagoon. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yep. That is adjacent to the Manatee River. So that's just a little perspective for you guys, because I know I'll see in the comments in the chats from time to time where people are just, they'll just say this crazy, flood rates are $12,000, and that's just not true. If you live on the Gulf of Mexico or you live on the Atlantic Ocean, expect to get abused with insurance if you can get it. That's just the reality of it. Mm-hmm. But once you live inland, it's not like that. If you're in a flood zone, you should expect to pay flood insurance no matter where you are in the country. We moved from Metro Detroit. We had areas that were in flood zones and the insurance was higher. That's the way it worked, right? It's no different anywhere in the country. FEMA sets the floodplain, and then the insurance rates do what they do. And, just again, like Marcia said, because of hurricanes, because of storms, because of flooding, it can be an issue. So it's something to consider when you guys are looking at moving down here. Ideally, you don't want to be in a flood zone. Ideally, you don't want to be in the evacuation zone. If you can make those two things happen, and still get your dream, your insurance rates will be fair, right? For living in Florida, right?
Yeah. For an example, for Lakewood Ranch, it's right now they're saying it's like $550 and going up to $660. So that's an annual. So compared to somebody that lives on or close to the Gulf, huge difference.
Yeah. And we've shared this before, I share with you ladies, like we live less than 2 miles. It's 1.93 miles when I run it from my door to toes in the sand, very close to the Gulf of Mexico. And our insurance rates aren't even $3,000. Right. And that's our total insurance between homeowners and flood. And we're in a non-flood zone, so I don't pay that. But just perspective, right? Like that may sound like a lot to some of you, but in a state where you already have a low tax rate already, it's more than fair. And I've shared that before. Where we moved from, the suburbs where we moved, we would for our home, we would be paying somewhere between $12,000 and $15,000 annually for taxes alone, and we're half that here. So it's total wash. For me, it's like, this is not complicated, but you may live in a, rural area where insurance is $1,200 a year for a 3,000 square foot house. It's going to be an adjustment for you. Just definitely make sure that you're aware of that. Okay. So I just want to share with y'all, make sure we're on the same page. get to some of these comments real quick. Where we at? We are moving to the Tampa area in August. After looking at houses last month, wondering where the best place would be to find a rental unit while we locate something we want. That totally depends on on what your lifestyle goals are. AF, the thing we always talk about this, like you want a community shop, and when you're planning on renting, you're kind of, to me, in my mind, you're kind of like just passing on all that stuff. Like you're setting on the sideline, you know, now you get to start community shopping once you're down here. So, you know, I don't know what your goals are. You know, I don't know if you have a family or if you're, you know, young working professional, what those things are, but you want to take all those things into account. If you want to know more, don't hesitate to reach out. All of the contact information is down below. We'd be happy to jump on a Zoom call with you, kind of chop it up and just try to help you solve those goals. So make sure that you get what you're looking for there. Ronnie said, I'm getting used to Indian Rocks Beach. Been going there every weekend. It is a hidden gem, my man. We definitely got to connect and go have a beer down at Antidote Brewing, which is my favorite brewing company in the entire Tampa Bay. So shout out to that. Cheryl McMillan says, can't wait to move back to Tampa. Moved to Georgia last year for my job, but absolutely hate it. Planning on moving back next spring. Well, we'd love to help you make that move, Cheryl. So happy to have you back too. That's great. Marcia, did you have another topic?
Yes, and this one's a really good one. Happy news. The U.S. News ranked the Sarasota metropolitan area as one of the best places to live and retire, both in Florida and in the United States. So we moved up to #1 in Florida, best city to live in. And when I say metropolitan Sarasota, that includes Manatee County and Sarasota County. So that includes the area that I live in. So I'm pretty proud of that. And it's stating that we're the 5th place to live in the U.S. And last year we were rated the 9th. So we've moved up. A lot of times people think of Sarasota, they think of retirees, but our population is getting younger. And so that's exciting too. So we're not just for retirees, we're for everyone. And how I discovered how they determine that information is they take the, what is it called? The Census Bureau information, yep. FBI, the IRS, they take all that information. And they also use the quality of life, the value of homes, job market, and desirability to come up with the cities that they choose. So 14 cities in Florida were on the list, including Tampa. And then for best places to retire, this is, I found really interesting. Tampa was rated #4 and Sarasota was rated #11.
That's hilarious.
So I thought that was surprising because Sarasota is always known for an older population and Tampa a younger, but I guess older people want to mix it up and live amongst the young. I get it. But as Juan said earlier, the thing about Sarasota, it's not a big city, but it's not cheap as well. Whoever had talked about renting, I know I read today that Sarasota's costs for rentals are actually more than Tampa and St. Pete. So it's #1, but with that comes some cost to it. So if anyone's interested in finding out information on Sarasota and Bradenton, I love living here and I'm happy to answer questions on it. So
I got all kinds of beefs with this article. I just got to tell you right now. I got all kinds of beefs here. Like, listen, y'all, and Marcia and I always poke at each other, right? Because let's give perspective. St. Pete and Bradenton are only a bridge away. So like, that's how close things are. But we always laugh and joke about how these are two separate worlds. They're not, but I always poke fun, right? Because Sarasota County is one of the oldest counties in the entire country. That is fact from Census Bureau. So when I hear like we're getting younger, but it does say in the article, and I'm like, who are these people that they're talking about? This is what I want to know, right? Because like, this is tongue in cheek, right? It is definitely getting younger. You can feel it when you go down there, but I think it's got a long way to go. I'm so spoiled because Tampa's 36 years of age on average. It's young in Tampa. I'm an old duddy in Tampa. I'm 45, and I go down there and I recognize really quickly that it is younger than I am, right? So I found it fascinating. So, and then when you said about the retirement, I'm like, something is off here. We're poking fun. The entire area is great, right? You know, Dunedin's been voted the best place to retire in the United States. That just came out earlier this spring. This is another article pointing to the fact that the Tampa Bay, Sarasota area, and again, relative perspective from St. Pete to downtown Sarasota, you're talking about 45 minutes, right? So it's not far from the middle of Pinellas County where I live to Sarasota. I can make it down there in about an hour and 10 minutes. It's not close, but it's more about traffic than anything else, you know, when it comes to that. Yeah. So for perspective, from my house to where Stacy lives, it's an hour and 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So these things are, Tampa's a very big area from a geographic perspective. The Tampa Bay, Sarasota areas, it's just big, but this is where all the population lives. So you'll find yourself in these different areas. Like I love going down to St. Armand Circle. I think it's beautiful, right? I think it's great. The beaches are gorgeous down there. They are as beautiful as they are here in Tampa Bay. They've got gorgeous white sandy beaches down there. You cannot go wrong, right? We've done videos on those there too. So I would encourage you guys, if that is on your radar, to check that out. So again, poking at Marcia a little bit, but yeah, that's great to see that, you know, another, you know, awesome place in Florida is getting credit for what it actually has to offer, which is just incredible lifestyle at the end of the day. So I love that. Get in this. And then, so thanks, Marcia. We appreciate you.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it. Thanks.
Awesome contribution from Marcia. Y'all give her a hand. Woo, woo, woo. Give her a shout out in the chat. We'd love to hear that. Ronnie says, yeah, Ronnie, I am not sharing that on live. That's funny. So yeah, the dirty little secret. So Indian Rocks Beach does not have a public parking structure. And that's part of the reason why I absolutely love it. Let me put that back up there because it makes me laugh. We love that because to the north of us is Bel Air Shores, which is completely private. It's 1.93 miles. There is no public parking. There's no public beach in Bel Air Shores. And then to the north of that is Clearwater Beach. So we have this natural insulator here. I'm totally being like, this is, I'm not sharing it. I'm not, what do they call that? Like when you're totally locking it down, protecting the info. But reach out to me privately and I will share with you where to park. I'm not doing that publicly. It's not going to happen. So you're welcome anyways. Great question, Ronnie. All right, Stacy, I spent the day with you in Wesley Chapel, sweating because it was warm today. We did have overcast, thank goodness, because I would have melted like the Wicked Witch of the West out there today because it was a hot one. But man, every time I go to Wesley Chapel, there's 5 new buildings, right? It's like there's 2 new elevators popping out of the ground and everything else is building around it. It's literally how it looks. It's crazy how much that place has grown. So we definitely, I'm excited to bring the video. I think we're gonna have it out this weekend. So the next Wesley Chapel video will be out there for those of you that are interested in it. But there's some cool things happening out there. They really are working hard to make that a community that it's hard to pass up. Right. And I think they're doing an excellent job. And you can do that when you have the space. And Wesley Chapel definitely has plenty of room to grow still. Like Lakewood Ranch, they still have plenty of land that they can develop, which is great. Because when you look at areas like Tampa, downtown Tampa, or anywhere near Tampa, you know, the close suburbs or Pinellas County, that's not an option for us, right? In order for us to build anything new, something else has got to get torn down. And you guys may or may not know that automatically means super expensive, right? Super expensive. So having a community that has been able to, again, plan things out intentionally over time, which is what these master plan communities do, like Lakewood Ranch, right? Like North River Ranch over in Parrish, right, Marcia? And then this beautiful development up in Wesley Chapel as well. So Stacy's going to give us some insights on what's happening up there. Some really cool stuff we visited today. So definitely want to get into that and share with y'all. So Stacy, what are we talking about?
Well, yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. The growth in Wesley Chapel is not slowing down. We are the fastest growing area in the region. In 2001, we had around 9,300 residents. And in 2021, we had almost 79,000 residents. Isn't that crazy? And we're still growing. So, which is awesome. But so we get asked all the time, like, why is everyone moving to Wesley Chapel? Mm-hmm. Well, one is convenient to Tampa. I mean, we're 25, 35 minutes. to Tampa, so it's an easy commute. And families are attracted to Wesley Chapel because of all the amazing master planned communities with these resort style living. So we got resort style pools, and we have playgrounds and tot lots and dog parks and walking trails, which is really attractive for families when they're looking for a new community. And then you have some neighborhoods like Avalon Park that has tennis courts and basketball courts, and they got all the things. And they have a fitness center, and they're going to build their own little downtown area. So you don't even have to leave the neighborhood. I mean, they're going to have retail space there. They'll have a daycare, a medical center, I think they said, and some shops and restaurants. And they're even going to have ponds to fish in and paths to ride bikes on, baseball fields and soccer fields. So that is going to be an amazing community once it's complete.
Yep. This developer has a development out in Orlando that's really well built out. I've seen it's gorgeous. So when I heard that this was coming to Tampa, I was like, we really should investigate this. And we were fortunate enough to move a client here. Wonderful. They're great. I don't want to call them out by name because I don't want to put anybody in a weird spot, but great clients. Moved down from Philadelphia, and we moved them over in Avalon Park. And it's a gorgeous area. Now, it's still got a long way to go with these developments here. You know, they're still building a ton in terms of construction. And let me give you the site plan here. It's probably the best way to do that. You know, they're putting shops, and the grocer will be in the city center. So they're going to have their own Publix, and they're like a CVS, and then this retail space, which is going to be mixed use. So there's going to be some commercial retail spots here. So you'll have a, you know, salon, a spa, some co-working spaces. There'll be some condos above that. But it's really cool how it's laid up here. And here's the site plan, just so you guys can get a little bit of insight on it in terms of the development and what they're looking at. And this is just Avalon Park, wesleychapel.com. If you guys want to go check that out. Again, we'll put all the links down below. You can pull these resources and developments out of here. But a lot of local events, right? Like what these master plan communities are doing are really making it hard for you to leave, like in a good way. You know what I mean? Like you can see on here, they've got fireworks scheduled, you know, for December 9th, which is cool. That's a, you know, welcome Florida thing. The Spooktacular is already scheduled. 4th of July celebration they're going to do down there. So there's always events happening. Okay. And then, you know, again, lots of shopping in the area and other activities. Again, Wesley Chapel's kind of built for that, but I just wanted to share that with you guys because I think it's a great place. And Avalon Park, I think it's definitely one of those spots where it's not overwhelming. You know, it's not Epperson. For those of you who have ever seen the Epperson Lagoon, you know that it can be, it's either a love it or hate it kind of thing. Again, I think if you're a park person, especially, you're really going to love it. If you're a beach person, but you know, you want something new, because that's kind of always a trade-off. People call it like, I want a 4-bedroom house that's new, right? You know, 4-bedroom, 3-bath right by the beach. And I'm like, if you got 1.5, I can get you started. Right. And they're like, I don't need to be by the beach that bad. And there's no shame in that, y'all. Right. Like you don't know what you don't know. So, and then you go over to Wesley Chapel and you can find that exact thing for like $450,000 and up. Right. So like, it's just amazing how, you know, that it offers so much. Right. So I think that's great, Stacy. So cool. What else?
Yeah. So if you have kids who play sports, you're going to love this because Wesley Chapel has opened a Wiregrass Ranch sports campus, and it is 98,000 square feet facility. It's got 16 volleyball courts, 8 basketball courts, soccer fields. They do cheer there, and they also have sports performance training. And also, if you have kids who play sports, you know how tournaments kind of rule your life. You're traveling all over the place. So they're going to host tournaments there, and teams from all over are going to travel to Pasco County. But they're expecting, like, for every tournament, like 700 players to attend. And that's not including the family members that will come with them. So a lot of business is going to be coming to Wesley Chapel.
Yep.
And that's not all. I mean, if your kids are into ice skating and hockey, Wesley Chapel also has the largest ice sports facility in the Southeast. And that's 150,000 square feet of ice in Florida. I actually helped a family. They were moving from Georgia, and their child was a figure ice skater, and he was going to train with an Olympian coach, figure skating coach, and who trained at that facility. So it was really cool to help them find a new home down here.
Yep. And Ringside's right off of 75 there. So it's really convenient. The Wiregrass Sports Ranch is probably, what, 3 miles off the highway?
Yeah.
Give or take. It's about 3 miles off the highway. And then the ice rink here is right off the highway. You can see it right on when you're driving I-75 there. It's right off of 54?
56.
56. Okay. Yep. State road, by the way. So we're just going through mentally. But huge facility here. Travel teams, being from the north, Red Wings original 6 guy here. Hockey was life, and it was there was a rink on every corner. And to come down to Florida, it definitely was not the same case. So it's really cool to see. They're making an investment in the sport, and it's not just hockey, right? Again, it's figure skating, those types of things too. But obviously with the Tampa Bay Lightning, that has drawn a lot of attention to the sport, and I think that's been very beneficial for the area as well. So I think that's great, Stacy. Great share.
Yeah. And I also read there was a hockey academy that was trying to open in the Lutz area. I don't know if that's official yet, but yeah, so that's cool. And then when I moved here 9 years ago in Wesley Chapel, we were surrounded by cattle fields. I mean, there is like cattle. You actually can still drive through Wesley Chapel and see some of the cattle ranches that haven't been developed yet. But
yep, it is. It's so like, and I got to stop you here because this is fascinating to me, because when you're driving down, like Curly Road is one of those great examples, right? So you're driving down that road, and to the west, it's all developments, and that development started in the early 2000s. So like that's not right at the south east corner there. But as you travel north towards Epperson and up towards San Antonio, it starts to get really new. And then as you're driving up, it's all houses to the west side of you. And on the right side, it's all farmland and cows. It is like the tale of two worlds. And then you pull up, and then you're in Epperson, and you're like, what in the world is happening here? Right? Like, and again, Epperson Lagoon, this whole idea of bringing the beach to the backyard. Right. And I realize I'm sharing this right now, and people aren't watching that. I'll pull that up here in a second. Let's get to a few other comments, and we'll get to that for sure. Mean Gene D, how is work for plumbers in Florida? I'm thinking of moving to Florida from Connecticut. I'll tell you what, there is always a need for great contractors, period.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. The lady said it. Like, there's always a waiting list for good contractors, and unfortunately there's probably a waiting list for not great contractors, but I don't think that that's unique to Florida either. So, Mean Gene, if you're a great contractor, you can win down here, and you can win big. Do people right, work hard, you'd be amazed, man. And people love to refer good contractors. So I would strongly encourage you to check that out. Ronnie asked, would Stacy recommend buying at the Epperson Lagoon, or better options in her opinion? Well, I'll let you ask the question that I know you want to ask first.
Well, I guess that kind of depends on your lifestyle. I mean, Epperson can feel very congested and crowded. So if that's not your thing, then you probably wouldn't like it there. There are other communities close by where you don't get that congested feeling, but you're still close enough that you can drive over and spend the day at the lagoon. Yep. So it really depends on, your lifestyle and what you like.
Yeah. Avalon Park to Epperson is 13 minutes, Ronnie, just for perspective. And you don't have to pay the lagoon fee. Well, there's a fee to get in. There's an admission fee, but you don't have to pay the CDD fees that come along with Epperson. And again, not good or bad, just understanding that this is the cost, right? You want those amenities. The community is the one that's really paying for the maintenance of that. So that gets included in your CDDs, which is our community development district fees. Think of them similar to an HOA, if I had to explain that. Okay. The HOA fee is there, but in communities like Epperson, I mean, they give you cable and internet included. So for your HOA fee, which is like $85 a month in in the Epperson community, right? So like that's a wash. You actually make money on that deal, but then you have to pay for the 2,500. It depends on the size of the house, of course, right? The property that you have, but usually on average, the CDD fees are right around what, 2,400 to 2,500 for the average home over there in Epperson, on top of your taxes, FYI. Okay, so just keep that in perspective. Pest Tech says, Stacy, you handle listings in Lakeland. There is a listing there. I would like to chat about if you can handle that area, just like I think one said. Yep. Stacy, go ahead and answer the question.
I do. Yes. Actually, I just sold a house in Lakeland a couple months ago to a family from Canada. So yes.
Awesome.
Not too far from me.
Don't hesitate to reach out. Contact information is below. We'll put it at the end too as well, just so you guys can have that. So that's good. Last question before we keep rolling here. Ronnie, I've heard that Epperson no longer has the VIP area. I preferred that over general admission. Listen, you get all bougie over here, hanging out at Indian Rocks Beach. Now you're complaining about VIP areas. Ronnie, what's going on around here, right? Oh, I love it. Ronnie's got a whole vibe going on right now. No, I'm poking fun, man. No, it's all good. I have not heard that. Have you, Stacy?
I have not either.
Okay. So maybe an overflow. Ronnie, we'll dig in. We'll call our people. We'll have our people call your people. That's great, man. That's a great question. We appreciate it. That's awesome. All right, Stacy, what else you got for us?
Well, just with all this growth coming to Wesley Chapel, there's we're attracting all kinds of businesses to the area as well. So let's see, there's Raymond James Financial, which is supposed to be hopefully starting construction this summer, and they're bringing like 750 jobs to the area.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and I know that project has been kind of, I think it started several years ago, at least the process, and I think they're supposed to be finally breaking ground this summer. So that's exciting. That's a 65-acre site with 5 buildings. Orlando Health is coming to Wesley Chapel, so that will be the 3rd hospital coming into town. And along, let's see, next to that building, the hospital, will be a Florida Cancer Specialist and Research Institute.
Okay.
Which will be the 2nd major cancer facility coming to Wesley Chapel. Moffitt Cancer Center opened a facility in 2021 in Advent Health, part of Advent Health, which was a 28,000 square foot facility.
Yep. Yeah, we've got Angeline, which is going to open up out there too, which we'll get into deeper here as that project rolls on. But again, Moffitt's making a huge investment, like a 760-acre facility. Don't quote me on that. I'm paraphrasing right now. Somewhere around that. It's been a while since I've looked at that project, but a humongous cancer research institute. So, I think Tampa's really trying to become known in the Tampa Bay area for, their cancer research. So that's great. Investment in health is never a bad thing, right? So I think that's an awesome share for sure.
Yeah. And Amazon Distribution Center is opening at the end of the year, and it's bringing 500 new jobs. So, and that's not even included. I mean, there's tons of retail opening up and restaurants. So I could go on for a whole nother segment about all the new restaurants and retail stores opening.
Literally,
I'll save that for next week.
Yep. And here's an example, y'all. So we were talking about like how it looks and feels out there. So like, again, there'll be all brand new developments, and this isn't far from Persimmon Park and what else is over there? Seven Oaks.
Estancia.
Yep, Estancia is over there as well. So great neighborhoods. I mean, some of the best neighborhoods the area has to offer. But like, you're looking at these farmlands and you're like, okay, what's going on out here? But they're putting a ton in these developments, right? So 6 million square feet for office space and medical space. 2.7.
Yeah, so it's crazy because you kind of feel like you're in the middle of everything, and then all of a sudden you see cattle fields and you feel like you're out in the middle of nowhere, but you're really not.
Yep. I love that. Again, it's a growing area. You really got the thing I think we can be most helpful with, you know, when it comes to living in the Tampa Bay area, sometimes just helping people understand, you know, it's just like the park person or the non-park person. If you're, you know, some people love going to Disney and Universal and the zoo and Busch Gardens, and that's their thing. They literally make a thing out of it. Others never ever go. And it's the same thing here for beaches. Like our neighbors next door, I don't know when the last time we went to the beach. They tell us all the time, like, we haven't been down there in years. I was telling you, we live less than 2 miles to the beach, right? In my mind, I'm just like, how in the world does that even happen? Other neighbors across the street, same thing. They don't ever go to the beach. They're not beach people. So it's just this weird kind of thing that like you either are or you aren't. And, you know, if you're not a beach person, if that's not important to you, then these communities right now, like Lakewood Ranch and Parish and Bradenton, you know, Wesley Chapel, Odessa, Lutz, you know, Angeline, as that breaks ground, Murata, which is a huge development. We're going to get way deeper into that in the future. These have so much to offer in terms of lifestyle. It's crazy. So, you know, definitely want to share that with you guys, you know, make sure that we're bringing some value. And again, our intent is to take this live and to really drill down on what's happening locally. So whether you are considering moving here or you already live here, you know, you can count on us to deliver, you know, the things that matter most to you. So we wanted to share that with y'all. Stacy, thanks for your contribution tonight as well. I think it's awesome. She has stepped right in. Like I said, I walked her in the door. I was like, hold on. Right. And it literally was just like, here we go. You know, we'll make it happen. And she stepped right up. And like I said, has helped serve 5 families, you know, right away. And Marsha's been with us for 6 months. And I can't tell you how much of a blessing that she has been, not only to our business, but to you guys and to our family as well. So we're grateful for both of you. We're going to answer some last questions here and roll out for the night. If you guys want to connect with us, you can always go to TB Home Search. That's TampaBayHomeSearch.com. That's our website. You can connect with us there. All of our contact information is below, of course, as well. So we want to make sure we do that. Ronnie said, Florida life. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like I said, Ronnie, we'll have our people call your people. So just make sure your people reach out so we know who we're talking to. I think that's great. And then Jusmo says, what do you think about Lennar Homes? Heard mixed reviews. Listen, so here's what I'm never going to do. I'm never going to bash a builder on any of our videos. The reviews for builders can be very challenging, y'all. Okay, so I'm not necessarily a proponent for one or the other. I will, if you call me, give you my professional perspective and share what I think is the best value for your dollar from our builders that we have locally. That's the most fair way to handle that. Because, you know, just like anything else, you know, Lennar is the brand, and they're such a big builder. You don't have the same crew working on every house. And I don't know about you guys, but there can be some, you know, you can get a crew that's incredible, that cares about every single thing that they do. The quality of the work and the fact that their name is going to go on that matters. And then I'm sure that there are crews that may not have the same, you know, position or the work ethic, or maybe they had a rough night the night before. I'm not a superintendent, but I just know, based upon my experience with contractors and life, because it's not just contractors, right? They call it the 80-20 rule. Really, it's 90-10 in every field, right? 90% of almost everything is junk, and there is 10% left over that is really good. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's a fair way to kind of approach that. So just be mindful of the reviews. People love to put, you know, comments and things like in there. They may not understand anything about construction or settling of homes. And again, I'm not trying to be defensive for any of these companies, but, you know, building homes a house is still a living, breathing thing, believe it or not. Right. It's, you know, they move, the ground moves underneath them. Things happen. We have, you know, crazy storms and rain. So like, you know, I share that perspective with you because it can be very difficult to actually kind of wade through it. So I encourage you to do your research, you know, understand the different levels of builders, because the thing that most people don't recognize is the big names that you hear, like Toll Brothers, Pulte, like all those builders have brands that aren't at the same level. Okay. So they have like an entry level brand. and all these other brands are typically extensions of them. And then they have a higher tier brand, and then there's custom options. So there's a lot of different things you can do in there. Like I said, reach out. I'd love to have a conversation. We do a lot of new construction, a lot. So we see a lot. We see a lot of inspection reports. We know what's happening in the marketplace for the most part. Like I said, I'm more than willing to share what I think is the best value for your dollar. I cannot tell you who the best builder is. I'm not a general contractor. I don't pretend to be one on TV. So hopefully that helps. I think that's helpful. Answering that the best way I could. We say thanks. I'll be renting when I get there. Yeah, until I get well planted. Exactly. A lot of that happens here too, y'all. So are there a lot of unincorporated areas near Tampa, St. Pete? There are unincorporated areas in Pinellas County where I live. I actually live in an unincorporated area. Love it. I wouldn't say a lot. It's probably somewhere between 10 and 12. No, 12. Totally just looking at the map. Somewhere around 10% of the county here in Pinellas County is what I would say unincorporated. So just heads up on that. And then what do you say? Last one. Asked me that one already. Home site friendly. There we go. And I don't the homestead friendly thing. I don't know about that. I'll have to dig into that question. It's a great question. I don't have an answer to it. So we'll dig that up. But ladies, any last parting words for our amazing audience? If you're watching this later, just know that you can, again, leave a comment down below. Let us know where you're watching from. We love that. All of our contact information is down below, including a link to my calendar where you can schedule a time so you don't have to chase around trying to figure out what the best time is for you. That link is designed for our clients. It's designed for people who live here locally, and designed for people who are considering investing or relocating to the area. So it is there for you. Do not hesitate to use that. Okay, so we have it set up so you guys can have direct access to it. We want to make sure we have a good connection. And last but not least, ladies, what do you have for the audience? Any last parting words?
Just thank you. I'm excited to be a part of this. I think it's going to be a fun weekly event. We can come up with some good information, I'm sure, and share with you, and hopefully get communication going between us and clients that are coming to look in the area, and hopefully be a huge help to you. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been great so far. We are extremely grateful. Stacy, any last words from you?
Yeah, I would like to hear what people would like us to talk about. Like if anyone has some ideas for us.
That's great. Yeah, recommendations are welcome, y'all. So put those in the comments too. If you want to learn about a specific area, we'd love to do that for you. If you'd like to learn more about specific builders, we can do that. We've done a little bit on new construction, but we haven't gone crazy deep. We've done some of the home buying process, so you guys can understand, because it is different from state to state, of course. And we do have our nuances as well. So we welcome that also. Don't hesitate to put those questions in the comments as well. So we appreciate y'all. And until next time, go out and live that Tampa life. We'll see you on the next